Hello, are you out there? This is Mark with Homebrew Fever Dreams Reviews, and we've got Path of the Moon and Sun Primal Barbarian coming from our very own Outrageous Maximum. They've got a few other subclasses I got to get around to, but this is the first in the queue from them right now. I made this subclass because dual-wielding giant weapons is awesome, and I wanted to make a subclass for it. I made both a fighter and a barbarian subclass, but the barbarian version had a more interesting concept as I developed it, and I'm happier with it how it turned out. With that in mind, I still might not be the best at balancing things, and this subclass is more likely to be broken than my last entry. The last entry was the sorcerer, which I thought was underpowered, if anything, if I recall. So you could watch the video if you don't know what I'm talking about, folks. Path of the Sun and the Moon. Among the generally simple lives of barbarians, one of the few ever consistent dichotomies are day and night, and such times are each ruled by their respective celestial bodies. Some barbarians can draw upon their timeless energies for greater strength. However, these energies, like the sun and the moon, are separate from each other, and barbarians of this path must also keep these energies separate within themselves. All right, so we've got a table here real quickly. The barbarian subclass in level 3. So we've got features great 2-weapon fighting and the feature sun and moon. You're going to get a weapon capacity of 3, which we're going to find out what that is, and celestial bonus of 1. At level 6, you get your next up. Attunement to the Sky is the feature. A weapon capacity of 4, celestial bonus of 2. Here at level 10, Unrelenting Onslaught. Yeah, I kind of consider that like a sort of a beefed up frenzy, but you'll see. Weapon capacity 5, celestial bonus 3, and at 14, Ecliptic Force. Ecliptic Force. Weapon capacity of 6 and celestial bonus of 4. So again, this subclass is about fighting with bigger, heavy weapons, versatile weapons, two-handed weapons, melee, as though they're just hatchets. It's great. It's great. It may be a little overpowered. We'll see. I compared this to the the Berserker? What is the I'm not a huge barbarian player, so what did I compare this to? Primal Path. Am I looking at the right? Not primal. Bear with me here. Path of the Berserker. Yeah. Just as a kind of comparison for judging whether it's overpowered, underpowered. As always with our reviews, we're looking for concept or theme. We're looking for ease of understanding. We're looking for balance. That's a big one. We're looking for fun. So this one's got the fun nailed. All right, here we go. Great 2-weapon fighting. At 3rd level, you can harness the power of celestial bodies to gain power. In addition to doubling your life capacity, the increased arm strength and control allows you to wield heavier weapons while 2-weapon fighting. You gain the effect of 2-weapon fighting style and dual wielder feat, but can still benefit when using larger weapons. Now, by larger weapons, again, we are meaning thematically versatile weapons, heavy weapons, two-handed weapons. All are going to fall within that. All right. Now, as a quick reminder, your 2-weapon fighting style, you can choose that, say, off of I think fighter and ranger, but that just means that on your second weapon, your offhand, you add your stat bonus, like your +5 strength or whatever to the damage roll. Yeah? Okay. Dual wielder feat gives you a +1 to AC, which for unarmored defense is absolutely nice to have. And it lets you ready, draw and stow 2 weapons at a time, with your object interaction, just whoosh, as opposed to turn 1, second turn, pulling out the other one. You just get to do both of them. There's something else I can't remember what it is. Shit. You guys probably remember. So, but yeah, it just makes, really more than anything, this is just a maintenance thing. It just makes it easy to use the feature of the subclass. So it's not trying to give you some super benefit, although that +1 AC is pretty damn nice. All right, you have a weapon capacity as determined by your Barbarian level. Light weapons cost 0. Cool. One-handed weapons cost 1. So right off the bat, a weapon capacity of 3 means you can exceed 2 one-handed weapons, just normal ones, right? You can go past that, at level 3 when you get into the subclass. Here we go. Versatile weapons cost 2. Heavy weapons cost 3. So I would say right away then you can use a one-handed weapon in one hand and a versatile weapon in the other. It matters, though. All benefits that would normally only apply to light and one-handed weapons apply to both your melee weapons, as long as the 2 weapons combined cost doesn't exceed your weapon capacity. Yeah. Your versatile weapons are used two-handed damage in one hand, and heavy weapons can be used in one hand. Yeah. So I'm really glad I read up on this before I did the video. Quick edit here for you, Outrageous. Heavy weapon just means that little folks can't use it. 2 weapon is what we want here. The term 2 weapon is a weapon category out of the player's handbook. And so what we want to say is that a 2-handed weapon can be used in one hand, not just heavy. You can use a heavy weapon with one hand if it were tagged without the 2 weapon, or maybe they're all tagged together, but I am just saying that heavy and two-handed are different. So if clarification, I guess, at the very least, but I get what you mean. You are also considered ambidextrous and may choose which weapon is your main weapon and which is your offhand weapon at the start of each of your turns. Okay, I guess some features or abilities that would matter, sure. But yeah, if you're ambidextrous, you're badass. What are you going to do? Okay, so right off the bat, though, what that means is that you can get 2 weapons out right away. You're dealing more damage with your offhand weapon. You've got that +1 to AC. You can stow and use both of them at once. Yeah, you're just going to be much more damage dealy right off the bat. So, yeah. And here we go. This is Sun and the Moon. So here's a bit of the flavor, a bit of the theme of the class. At 3rd level, you embody the sun in your right arm and the moon in your left. In this case, I embody coffee in my left. Hold on. It's so good. I just brewed it this morning. So good. All right. My wife works at a coffee company, not like at a shop, but like where they make the coffee. So she gets a lot of coffee for free. Brings home. During the day, during your rage, when you attack with your right-hand weapon, your rage damage bonus increases by your celestial bonus, and your rage damage bonus becomes fire or radiant. Oof magoof. So you just get a straight bonus. Now that scales up as you level, so it just starts at the +1 initially. But yeah, you're just adding celestial damage, 1, 2, 3, or 4, straight to your rage damage bonus. That's nice. During the night, during your rage, when you attack with your left hand weapon, you add your celestial bonus to your attack rolls. Wait. Why is this one fire radiant, but this one doesn't have one? Is it not supposed to? I mean, I guess that's okay. The damage type doesn't change. Okay. Let's just make sure I'm not missing something. This seems slightly confusing. Hold on. During the day, during your rage, when you attack with your right-hand weapon, your rage damage bonus increases by your celestial bonus. Just stop right there. Rage goes up by bonus. During the night, during your rage, when you attack with your left-hand weapon, you add your celestial bonus to your attack rolls. I would word this the same, though, because it almost feels like you're saying, but you don't get your rage damage bonus in there. I don't think that's what you intend, but I would make these 2 lines read more similar. I would even potentially give this night option its own special damage type, or give it the same. Just say they're both, say it's fire in the day, radiant at night, radiant from the moon, right? Because moonlight is just the sun, reflected back to the world from the sun. So, right. I'm just saying. So yeah, I'd clean that up for clarity there. But yeah, as I'm reading that, then I don't get my rage damage bonus on this one. Gee, I don't want to fight at night. So tighten that up. Okay. Attunement to the sky. At 6th level, your connection to the sun and moon grants passive awareness. Okay. You're always aware of what time it is on the material plane, even if you are not. Oh, it's timekeeping. That's cool. I was just going to say, actually, I was just thinking here, with just the sun and the moon feature, all you got to do is just attack somebody with your weapons anytime. You're like in the Underdark, and you're like, shit, I don't know if it's the day or the night. You just find some hapless drow and just go into a rage and attack them. You're going to know if it's day or night by whether you get a fire or radiant damage energy coming off your attack as you cleave that drow in half. And then if there's no fire radiant damage, you're like, oh shit, it must be nighttime up top. Because I just sliced that guy and there's no magical energy coming off my weapon. So, yeah. That's why you got to clean that up. Because, well, maybe you shouldn't make it the same. Because then it works as time telling also. So, I'm glad you thought of it. During the day, you gain advantage on intimidation checks, and your walk speed is increased by 10 feet. This is because you can see the ground in front of you. I like that. During your rage, you are immune to being frightened and resistant to fire and radiant damage. Oh, that is interesting. I know for the Berserker, when they're raging, they're immune to fear and charmed. But this is saying, no, you're just immune to being frightened. But it's all the time. During your rage. Okay. I was going to say all the time. During your rage, you're immune to frighten, but in lieu of the charmed, you get resistance to fire and radiant, which is nice. Fire's pretty common. During the night, you gain advantage on stealth checks, gain dark vision to 60 feet, and have full vision under any moonlight. Oh, nice flavor there. I really like that. Now, gaining the dark vision to 60 feet won't be useful for half the species, essentially, but full vision under any moonlight is a beautiful touch. It would be very handy. And there's your immunity to charmed while raged, and then you get the cold and the psychic damage. So I would say that's better than, what's level 6? Frenzy? No, mindless rage. Yeah. This is better than mindless rage. So in that sense, you've given this a plus for sure right there, in my opinion. So let's get on to Unrelenting Onslaught. At 10th level, you become effortlessly capable of wielding 2 weapons. At the start of your turn, you may activate this effect. Instead of getting a bonus action for your offhand weapon in 2-weapon fighting, you may automatically make an attack with it whenever you roll an attack with your main weapon, as long as it is at the same creature. Oh my goodness. So, because you're going to have your extra attack, so you're going to get main attack with an offhand, extra attack with an offhand. It's just more attack rolls, because the way it's worded, whenever you roll an attack roll with your main. Okay. Now, for clarification, does that mean you no longer can do a bonus action for your offhand instead of, right? I think the way I'm reading that, it excludes it, because otherwise you'd get a 5th attack. You'd go main off, extra off, bonus, dual wield. Yeah, so that, which would be a lot more damage potentially. So, but the way I'm reading it, no bonus action on attack. It's always converted to that extra. All of your weapon attacks gain disadvantage until the start of your next turn, but they gain a +2 to attack rolls. Oh. So all 4 attacks we're talking about granting here are going to be a disadvantage. Fudge. With the +2? Oh. I'm not a fan. Sorry. I'm not a fan of the roll a disadvantage, add 2. Only because it's like it's 2 calculations you're doing, right? Like I've mentioned that in other videos. It's like I don't like you multiply this, subtract this. I'm like, I see what you're doing. You're trying to say, like, yeah, it's not as good as just straight attacking because they're all at disadvantage. But you get a +2. So it's like we didn't take it all the way to Sucktown. We took it back a little bit. So in that sense, good for you because you are making your own effort to balance, which I appreciate, right? You're just like, yeah, there's got to be a trade-off because you're getting a lot of attacks. I think you just got to role play that, or sorry, play test it. Gosh, I'm sure somebody could do the statistics like just in their brain and tell how many hits it's going to be. But yeah, I don't think it's overpowered because of that disadvantage. That's a big hit. And with that would account as if you're doing a reaction. I don't know how. Yeah, if you're using a reaction when opportunity attack, that would also be in there, the disadvantage +2. So there's some serious things to consider with that. You cannot activate both this effect and reckless attack during your turn. So right, which because reckless attack. Oh fudge! I don't know. Barbarian. Reckless attack. All concerned, you attack at advantage, but everyone has advantage to hit you. Is that right? Is that what reckless attack does? But attack rolls against you have advantage. Yeah. So you're not dropping your defensive capabilities with this. You're just attacking a lot more, but it's it considerably less goodness. Yeah. Okay. But presumably you're going to be using big two-handed weapons or versatile weapons with the bonus. Okay. We'll see. It's too much mechanics for me to just know off the top of my head, to be really honest. Okay. Here we go. Capstone. Ecliptic Force. At 14th level, the energy of the sun and the moon within you permeates your body and doesn't waver. You accrue all day-night effects regardless of the time of day. Holy cows, that's huge. This is your capstone. You can cast Daylight a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and it is considered a level 5 spell for the purposes of counteracting magical darkness. You can cast a spell even during a rage, right? Like you just start glowing. You regain all uses after a long rest. Okay, so the Daylight is just a nice touch, thematic. I mean, yeah, I'd say you got this on theme. It's there. It feels lived in, playable, right? But man, that's beefy. And let's just roll back. So any place where we had a day-night effect, you're going to get them both. So let's just jump back here. Not Unrelenting Onslaught. Here we go. Attunement to the Sky. So when you're raging, you will be immune to frightened condition. You'll be immune to charmed. You'll gain resistance to fire, radiant, cold, and psychic damage. You'll be able to see up to 60 feet in the dark, have full vision under the moonlight. You'll be able to walk 10 feet faster, have advantage on stealth and intimidation checks. Intimidation checks all the time. Oof. It's essentially... I mean, okay, let's be fair here. 14 only gives you Daylight spell by itself. But what it's doing is giving you a second Attunement of the Sky. The day portion of Attunement of the Sky is a great level tier boost. So is during the night. It's like two separate tier boosts. So you're going to cut that day-night, or we'll say the during the night part of Attunement of the Sky, and paste it into Epic Force. So you're getting all of that essentially from Epic Force. So in that sense, we're still balanced, essentially, right? You haven't gained, but now let's go up one more and see if this throws it off. Here's our Sun and the Moon effect. During the day, during your rage, when you attack with your right hand, your rage damage bonus increases by your celestial bonus from Rib of Fire, and during the night, you presumably the same thing. So ultimately, it's just saying no. Okay, I guess that's not too overpowered then. Normally, you were getting the celestial bonus damage in your right hand, and then your left hand, one or the other. But now you're saying no, celestial bonus damage, both hands. At 14, that's going to be a 4 and a 4. You already had the 4, but now you get the other 4. So, and whether or not you add any damage types, so that's a plus, though. It's definitely a plus ultimately. I don't think in my mind it was like crazy strong, but I don't think it's that crazy strong. But it is another plus. So I'm counting 2 pluses. This is an A++ right now. Yeah. The one thing I'm not clear on, just because I don't know the statistics, is whether Unrelenting Onslaught's disadvantage on all attack rolls with the +2 is it is definitely a debuff in like you're trying to balance it by itself, but is it slightly less than the Berserk, whatever, the Frenzy, right? Mindless Rage. I can't. Yeah, sorry. I don't do Barbarians personally. Yeah, I don't play Barbarians. No, I play halfy rogues or dwarven paladins, or sometimes horribly disfigured elves. I like playing short people. I don't know why. I think because I think for the voices, right? Because with your dwarf, you got you're like this in the beard, so you kind of know what a dwarf sounds like. And then with your halflings or your gnomies, I play gnomies because it's more like oh my god, I was sick last week and I'm still feeling. Oh my, what? Well, I don't know that we could do that. I would not suggest it. If you go there, the rust monster's most likely to consume all of our valuables, and we've worked quite hard. So, yeah, that's my gnome voice. That would be my gnome voice. Oh, this one, But my halfy voice would be... see if I can do it. Oh, well, why would we do that? Let's see. Oh, it's so shiny, though. Certainly, I could get one. Come on. Let me have a bit of your coin and a bit of yours, too, and then I can afford it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having trouble hitting the... All right. But if it's an elf, it's just like... Yeah, it's elf talk. I don't know how elves would talk, right? Because I'm not going to do like Legolas. It'd be all airy. It's like, oh, the sun is so shiny today on the green leaves. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Any rate, back to the subclass. Balance, I don't think you're far off, but I think you're a plus. Theme is there. Fun for people who like to play barbarians. It's, gosh. Yeah. Well, that's just my own personal thing, though. I mean, I think you guys we all have that. This is getting long enough. This is 22 minutes. Listen, thank you so much for sharing. I think it's all there. I would check with the DM before putting this one out there. I mean, obviously you always would. The big reason is because what I don't know well enough about Barbarians is all the feats and how they might interact with those extra attacks and how it relates to offhand or main hand, offhand, all that kind of stuff. So, I think your DM would let you try it out, but I could see how things could get crazy because it's a boatload of attacks out there. I mean, I guess fighters get like extra attack. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for sharing, though, Outrageous Maximum. I know you've got a couple more in the queue for me, and I think our Rune Queen has at least one more, the Paladin one, so which I am desperate to get to. Okay, take care, you guys. Thank you so much for doing this with me.